Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. and welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about something that I'm guessing a lot of people who are in the comic book industry aren't really using, and something I can't understand why they wouldn't do. So for me, one of the greatest ideas that I noticed is digital sales. I've been doing digital sales in some way or shape since 2000 when I first got on RPG Now, which eventually was bought out by Drive-Thru RPG, which is currently One Bookshelf, where they have several lines of digitally only, well, some digitally only, some now print-on-demand products. And I've been doing this for 20 years, and I always wondered why comic book people did not really get into the whole digital first mentality. I mean, when you think about it, comic books themselves have gotten to be so expensive, it's almost unrealistic to see people buying them on newsstands, if you can even see that. I mean, most comics are found in specialty shops. Very rarely you might find them on a comic book stand, but it's not something you see anymore. And it's kind of one of those weird things of, you think that for people who invented the concept of monthly books that people collect, they could get the whole direct-to-consumer model better than anybody else. And they never really did until late in the game of direct model. So that always made me wonder, how many sales are people really getting? So I know that a lot of people have decided when they do their comic book, they want to get it in print and get it in stores to get that feeling of, look, my product's in print. I'm very much on the other side of the spectrum. I'm on the side of the spectrum where let's just make this a digital first initiative. Being digital first, I think, is the smarter deal. I think it's the better long-term thought process, and it's even the best way to get more clients. See, when you think of getting the stores first, you have to deal with distribution and printing and getting those materials out and pushing the product out to the retail stores, hoping that they sell enough where they want to reorder for you. And you can do this for like 3 months, because it takes, the first issue comes in, they gotta order 3 months in advance. So 3 months before the book even reaches their store, they gotta buy it. So there's gotta be something great about it then. Then they gotta wait a month for the order to go through, and then when it finally comes in the store, they have to see how well it sells to their fan base. And here's the kicker, and this is like a very well-established rule. The first issue of a book sells very well. Sells relatively very well in comparison to everything else. The second and third issue are usually cut significantly. The second issue is cut 60% of the amount of the first issue. And the third issue is cut at least 50, if not sometimes, 30% or a third of what the first issue was. And really that's because they're not sure if it's going to be good or bad. And when that happens, it's harder to get, people interested in the book, because God forbid you get a hit. You won't have enough time because of printing to go back to, like I said, when the first issue hits the shelf, the second one's already at print. Those orders are already in. It's already at print, and they're starting their print run. By the time you find out if it's a hot book or not, the printing's already done. So it's always kind of that weird system. But for digital products, you put it up, you promote it, you can sell it whenever. And there is no 1 or 2 sales. You sell by the interest of things. If it's hot 1 month, you can continue on another month and sell it. And that's something they don't really think about in the industry. It's very much a digital last phenomenon, and I don't understand that, especially since people have focused more and more on doing digital-only products. I mean, this device right here. This device changes everything. This device brings the comics to the people when they want them, how they want them, when they want them, and where they want them. So why isn't that the first thought? Why isn't the phone or the tablet or the screen the first thought of doing comics? Still find a way to make it worth the money. Still find a way to get people interested. And then if it does very well, then you do it in print, but you do collect it. You do trade paperbacks. You don't waste time with floppy books. Those individual floppy books will not sell as well as a good trade will. You build the interest online, You build it, you get people coming check it out because they're interested, and then you convert them by giving them a trade paperback to buy of the collected versions you have online, plus maybe something extra. So when talking about people doing this, so many people are on Comixology. They're spending their time doing that. They're focused on getting fans from that, kind of. But I don't see enough people on another site that I use very well and have used for years. The other side of it, the drive-through RPG side, there's a drive-through comics. And they sell digital versions, and they've got probably one of the largest databases of online sales, probably over time. I mean, it's not Comixology, and let's be honest, Comixology, the cut they take from you and how much money you have to spend, it really gets kind of silly. But at least with drive-through comics, you get a better understanding of the market. Because, I mean, let me just put it bluntly. This company's been doing this for 20 years. They have a better understanding how sales go, how digital works, and I think they've won in the niche battle of getting people involved. With Drive-Thru RPG acquiring Wizards of the Coast as their main seller on one of their other sites, the Dungeon Masters Guild, they get a fan base that is rabid of fans who would love to probably get more into comics they've never heard of. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody's a fan of Marvel, but if they could find a way to get your comic, and maybe relatively cheaply, let's be honest, a $4 comic book in print is expensive, I've said that. But if you could find a way to do a 99-cent digital comic and still make a profit, which I think you still could, it might be a great way for them. I mean, it might be something that is just not just a basically good idea, it's a revolutionary good idea. And I don't think enough companies think about their digital strategy first. It's always stores and that kind of customer base first, but never online. But I think if you remove the stores out of it and focus on doing online, I believe that you can build your fan base, and then you can transform that fan base into local store fans. But it does take time. So if I was you, and you're not selling on drivethroughcomics.com, I would go there right now, sign up for their whole policy, read it over, of course, read over what you like, and put your products online to sell. I mean, you've got nothing to lose. If you've got the stuff and it's already in PDF format, put it online to sell. Some of you are like, oh, I don't want to do that because, when people buy my book, they might steal your book. The worst thing that could happen to you is the best thing really, is people could steal your book, put it online, and have people actually like it. And then be like, oh my God, this book is amazing. I'd love to support this guy. And then you build a Patreon for it. And then congratulations, you're a millionaire. Well, not really that easy, but you understand where I'm going. Because too many people just naturally assume, oh, if they put it online, they're going to steal it. Let me tell you something that's going to sound harsh, but very helpful for a lot of you, and get you to a point that you need to get over. People have been taking stuff online, scanning it, and putting it on. Every comic that you see on the stands gets scanned by somebody, uploaded, and put online, and people are reading it for free. That is a true statement. What you want to do is give them a reason not just to look at the scanned version, but to support you as a creative person. And that's the harder part. That's the part that Marvel and DC don't have to worry about anymore because they're Marvel and DC. But you're not them. You're the new independent guy. So how do you get people to look at you and say, hey, I like what you did. I like what you did so much. I want to give you money for it to support you. If you do it right, you can get fans to give you $1, $2, $3 a month to support you. And if they do that month after month, year after year, and you get enough people to do it, you can become that big company. All you need, as they say, is 1,000 true fans to support you. 1,000 true fans giving you $10 a month. Maybe 1,000 true fans give you $5 a month. That's still $5,000. That's not a bad deal no matter how you look at it. But there's a way to make this work. You've just got to sit back, think about your tactics logically, and then approach them the same way and strategize. I'm not telling you should do this. I'm telling you have to do this. If you really want to be successful and you want to get this right, just do it. It'll be the best decision you ever made. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll talk to you all later. Hey, thank you for checking out my channel. Do me a favor, check out my other videos, and if you like what you see, subscribe.